Julie Castro-Abrams, CEO, founder, and chair of How Women Lead. Thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed today. Tell me a little bit about how that came to be.
You know, the truth is, I had worked in all kinds of areas around women's leadership for a long time, and I really felt like I was being a student of it, but not sharing what I had learned. And I had this great network of women I just admired and loved, and you know, it happens. You're a senior woman leader. It's lonely at the top, and people are happier when they're together. They're doing things together, and it's like this relief. It's a physical reaction when you're with other women leaders, and it really buoys you up. So we're breaking ceilings together.
Yeah, I think that's really great. And today we're at this event about women leaders of the world with 20 women that are here internationally. And I'm so honored to be one of the trusted advisors to be coaching one of these women for the next year.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Yeah, so it sounds like you're really playing a bigger game. But I have known you for a long time because you and I are co-authors of a book called Scrappy Women in Business, Living Proof That Bending the Rules Isn't Breaking the Law.
Yes.
And you give 17 great scrappy tips in this book. And there's one in particular that I would like to ask you about because I found it very, very challenging for me to follow this tip.
Okay.
So this is scrappy tip number 9.
Yes.
Ask for help.
Yes.
It makes other people feel good, and you need it, believe it or not.
I think it should have been scrappy tip number 1. Because this is the thing. As women, I'm a social worker, right? As women, we want to help other people. There's this weird discomfort that comes from allowing other people to help us. And so I just think it is essential for people to understand when you help me, you say it makes you feel good, right?
Right.
So you can give me a gift. If you ever need anything from me, it's a gift to me to invite me to help you, to ask me for advice, ask me for some support. I'm happy to do that for other people. It makes me feel like I'm important and I have something to contribute.
Yeah, you know, as leadership coach, executive leadership coaches, I think both you and I are, my clients ask me all the time, you know, oh, I can't ask anybody for help. I'm supposed to know everything about it, and nobody will want to help me. And I always say, I have asked so many people for help, and never ever in my entire career has anyone said, no, I can't. So it's a really important question, I believe, for us to ask other people too, that question, how can I help you?
Well, most great leaders figure that out somehow along the way. So it's important. If you can do everything on your own, fine, go do it.
If you can, yes.
But if you feel like maybe you have something to learn, or building a coalition will make you meet your goals more effectively, getting an alliance of other people. That also includes like customers and staff. You don't want your staff to feel like, oh well, this person has got it all together, because you don't. They can see that you, like everyone else, need help. So makes them feel good. It pumps up their ego.
Yeah, and people love to be allies in other people's bigger games, without a doubt.
Well, that's what this is all about today.
That's what this is all about. Women playing bigger games in their lives and making their visions become real and having the guts to do that, right?
Exactly.
You mentioned discomfort, and I know that playing a bigger game in our lives, we have to leave many, many different comfort zones when they are no longer serving us. I'm wondering, what comfort zones have you had to leave in order to be where you're at today?
Well, first, I loved being the behind-the-scenes person. I was the number 2 person for a long time. I was a deputy director somewhere for 7 years. And when I was being interviewed, and I kind of did all the business operations, and the other person was she was a musician, so we were at a music conservatory, right? And so when they invited me to do this role, I thought, well, I do all the things. I was like, but I can't do public speaking because I'd never done it. And I used to feel like there was a fishbowl over my head. And so I was like, so that's the one thing I can't do. But other than that, I got this job down. So they hire me for the job. And 2 weeks in, I'm speaking in front of 900 people right after Barbara Ehrenreich.
Oh my gosh.
That was discomfort. That was uncomfortable. I still kind of felt the reverberation. But what I started to do was really, out of love for the people in the audience, just try and feel their energy and allow that to infuse me, as opposed to being caught up in my own, silliness about, did I say that? Is that interesting? Whatever. So for me, that was one of the many, not being number 2 and speaking in public. So those are 2.
Well, excellent. Well, it looks like you have that down without a doubt.
I do it a lot
without
now.
a doubt.
Wasn't easy.
So my next question has to do with women in leadership, because you and I are both dedicated to that as our mission. What do you think are the three most important things for women to know about leadership?
Okay, well, I think first is back to this being an alliance builder, figuring out how to create a sense of everybody's in it together, and we all have a role to play. And so, even with like my clients, I help them create these dashboard tools, right? 10 to 15 target numbers that you know change every month, but the leader can't have their name on more than two. So everybody in the team knows they are absolutely responsible. They're the one to have these key critical organizational indicators move forward on a monthly basis. So that's an example of one. You know, I think the other thing for me is this constant looking at what is the story that's serving me and not serving me. So we all, as you evolve and mature, you have to keep wrestling this with this stuff, and you kind of think, oh, I'm done now, and then another one rears its ugly head. So whether that's this story about I am not enough, or I'm too big or too loud or too, you know, whatever. So constantly evaluating, like, what is that story that might not be serving you anymore, and really allowing it to fall by the wayside. And I'd say number three, understanding a lot of women are the doers, and you work 90 hours a week and you think that's leadership because you're showing everyone you're willing to do whatever, and you know the stuff needs to get done, but then you have no emotional bandwidth, and the creativity, it really is the challenge, right? So it is something I still struggle with, but having enough space and break so I can show up emotionally with some emotional depth and bandwidth, as opposed to being kind of strung out and exhausted. Because you know when you get that zinger at you, you can't react in a healthy way if your emotions aren't, you know, sort of settled and safe. And we all know you go on vacation for 2 or 3 weeks and you come back and you're faster and more creative, and you've got a vision for how you can do things that are new or innovative. And I just think we all get in that trap where we think if you're not on it every minute and owning it every minute, that you won't meet your goals. And I think the most important thing is to give yourself some space and a break, and get it out of your brain. Go read. Okay, I read sci-fi smut to have a break. I'm just telling you. Yes, I like to read, you know, Madam President and what happened and all these things, but you know what?
Every
That's
now and
not a
then.
break for me. So you know, I just need to completely turn it off at this stage in my life.
Yeah, I tell everybody that I know. It's like when you go on vacation, look at the word vacate, leave, go away, don't come back. It's all behind.
Away.
That's right. And you know what? Every single time you come back, it's still there.
Exactly.
It is still there.
Yep.
So Julie, tell me, how do you define gutsy?
Oh, it's that thing that you are doing that makes you kind of feel like you're going to throw up. You know, that thing where you are really pushing the envelope of your own capacity, whatever that is. And for me, in this day and age, women need to stop being careful and worrying about other people's feelings. We have no more time for that. We need to stick our necks out, say what we believe, and stick with it.
Excellent.
There you go.
Yeah, because time is running out.
Oh, yes.
Time is running out very quickly.
Yeah.
And then, what's the next gutsy thing you're going to do?
All right. You know what? I think the capital system for women entrepreneurs is completely screwed up. I don't have to think. We know the data is very clear. You look at the 7% of venture capital is going to women, and you know what? The number of men who are making those decisions is about that, 93%. And so I want to do some work to create an angel fund and disrupt the capital markets, and do it with in alliance with VC firms and other folks, and sort of say, we'll do a $250,000 investment if you will be our, the folks we can refer to. So I don't know how to do it. I'm kind of scared of it, but I'm going to do it. Figure out how to do it. I'll ask you for help.
Because that's gutsy, and that's what we do. We get gutsy and get going, period, the end, yeah. Well, Julie Castro-Abrams, the CEO and founder and chair of How Women Lead, thank you for this interview, and for women that are really interested in taking a look at some of the programs you have to offer, some of the I've attended some of the thought leader events, which have been fabulous. Where do we go for information?
www.howwomenlead.com.
Excellent. You bet we're going to be there.
All right, good.
Thank you.